So today I want to talk about a topic that's very close to my heart and something I'm really passionate about, which is healing, and which is why therapy often fails for many people. And the reason I've brought this topic up at this point in time is that I've been contacted by a number of people and had several conversations. And the most recent one was by a girl who was really struggling, and she just didn't think that she could get through the day. So she went to her doctor and explained what was going on. Now, before I share the rest of the story, I want you to know that I have been in that situation many times, and I've been really fortunate to have been helped by my husband, who, rather than trying to fix me and make things better, just actually sat with me with my pain and honoured where I was at because of the training that we've both done, and we're able to know that this is a part of us that's feeling this way. We don't need to fix that part. We just need to honour it, validate it, see it, and reassure it that we're there and we love it, and we're able then to move out of that poor me, victim, I can't cope, to a much stronger position after that. And at times when I was going through that, I so often questioned the journey that I was on, because it seemed like I was the only one going on this. It seemed like everyone else was taking a pill and functioning, and I was the only one that wasn't functioning. And I suppose my job is now to help people to really treat the cause of their problem, because I know how healing this could be, because I've been there. And so this girl was in the doctor's surgery, and she explained to her doctor what was going on. And rather than what she needed, which was to be heard and validated and honoured, which is so healing and therapeutic and not judged and not rescued, the doctor went into a fear, panic, you're not going to commit suicide if I let you go, and wasn't able to give her the help that she needed. So I wanted to get on camera because I know that there are so many people out there silently struggling. And if this is you, then please don't make your struggles wrong. Reach out to find someone who's non-judgmental, who can just sit there and hear you and be with you and send you love, whether that be a therapist or a priest or a parent or someone who's not going to rescue you, but just be there. Because I tell you what, it is so healing and it's so therapeutic. So that's the first thing. She didn't get what she needed, and she just felt like she was victimized further, and it was a really yuck situation for her. And the second example that I wanted to give you was that my daughter, my youngest daughter, came to me the other day, and she was really not coping, and she just goes, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. And I went into that fixing mode. I went into the natural mum, put the hat on, and what could it be? Have you been eating well? Have you been drinking enough water? Have you been getting enough? And really trying to fix. And I just saw this blank stare in her face, and I thought, Heidi, you need to give yourself some of your own medicine and just sit there and honour where she's at. And so I just put my arms around her and I said, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry I tried to fix you. You're feeling awful, and I just want to honour where you are. And just as I put my arms around her and just let her be in her yuck state, she just sobbed and cried, and it enabled her to move on. Because being heard, seen and validated is just the most powerful thing that you can do for someone without fixing them. And this then prompted, I suppose, I had another conversation with another lady who she'd been struggling too of late, and she went to her doctor to get a mental health plan. And it's hard to say this because I know that every therapist is out there really wanting to help. But unfortunately, many therapists, even though they have that great intention to help, they don't have the skills to help people with emotional trauma. You cannot talk your way out of an emotional problem. Emotions need to be met, felt, honoured and processed so that they can be healed and released. And if you've experienced something in the past and if it keeps cropping up, similar situations keep cropping up in your life, it's about you saying, what am I meant to own and learn, and going back and doing the necessary healing? Because what's going to happen is parts of you keep cropping up for healing, keep popping up. They're living in trauma deep down within your subconscious, and they're going to keep interrupting your present moment until you deal with them and get them the help that they need. And the help that they need is to be heard, honored, validated, their power to be taken back, because trauma is obviously someone has taken away your power. And there, unfortunately, many therapists aren't trained in the therapies that enable you to do this. And it's my wish for the therapeutic community, for everyone to be able to learn how to work with parts, how to deal with trauma, and how to move people through situations very, very quickly. And there's a gold standard of therapy that is just rapidly expanding and rising because it is so helpful. And it's called resource therapy. It's there to help people to resolve those parts in trauma. And I do hope that the therapeutic community, well, regardless of what you're trained in, CBT, whatever, everyone needs to know how to apply this resource therapy so that they can treat the root cause of the problem and set people free. And so I was telling you about a girl who I ran into her, and she said, I went to the doctor, I got my mental health plan. She goes, after the 4th session, I'm still giving my background. And I just want to reach out to you to let you know that if after the 1st or 2nd session with a therapist, you haven't got some form of relief, you're not with the right therapist. Talking cannot heal an emotional problem. So reach out to a resource therapist, breathwork therapist, someone who can really help you to move through your stuff, someone who's trained in dealing with emotions and not talking about the emotions. There is a huge distinction. And so, 4 sessions and she's still at I'm taking your background. And she goes, I've never gone back because I just felt this isn't helping. And that's where therapy can fail. And then I spoke to another lady who said, oh yeah, we took my son and we did 14 sessions. 10 of them were subsidized by the government. But even after 14 sessions, when we had to pay and put the whole amount in those extra 4 sessions, we didn't see any change after 14 sessions. And I just get gobsmacked at that, because when you reach out for help, you should be helped. And it gets me quite frustrated that the people who need the help aren't getting the help. And if that's you, I just want to give you hope that there are therapists out there that can help you to move through whatever you're dealing with so that you can be free, so that your past doesn't keep interrupting your present moment, and so that you can live a better quality of life. If you had a bad experience at a restaurant once, would you not go to a restaurant ever again because you had that one bad experience? Well, unfortunately, this is what happens with therapists. People have a bad experience with therapists. They say it doesn't work and they never go back. If you get a bad haircut, do you never get your hair cut again? Of course not. You continue to find someone or search for someone who's going to be able to help you. And it's sad. I just feel so sad that there are so many people struggling with issues today because they're not getting the help that they need. And then because they've done this other stuff that has wasted their time, when they do actually get on to someone who's really shifted them through stuff in 1 session or maybe 2, they give up because they think, oh, well, I'm fixed now. I was speaking to another lady who said to me, oh yeah, I suffered from anxiety 20 years ago and I went and had 3 sessions with a psychologist and I'm fixed now. And I don't ever want to go there again. It was kind of like she was putting up brick walls, and I'm here to honor people and honor where they're at. But what I also want you to know is that you wouldn't go to a gym once and work out your body once or 3 times in a few weeks and say, well, that's my physical fitness under control for the rest of my life. Emotional fitness is just like physical fitness. You can call it mental health, or you can become emotionally fit so that you can handle whatever life deals with you. I call it emotional fitness because for me it's a much more positive spin, and it really helps you to realize that you're in control, you can take control, but you need to learn a holistic approach to healing. It's not just fixing one thing and then moving on. Emotional fitness is all about dealing with the things that are keeping you trapped. It's about using your thoughts in a way that is going to be helpful and not critical and putting you down. Using your thoughts in a way that's going to manifest your life and your true desires rather than keeping you small and keeping you stuck. It's about learning how to eat so that your body is nourished, so that your body is getting the vitamins and minerals that aren't going to manifest these emotional things. It's about moving your body so that you can remain healthy. It's learning to relate to yourself and to other people and to life in a way that is going to create a life worth living. No one else can do that for you other than you. And you can say, well, I've gone to a therapist once and it didn't help, or you can sit there and say, well, I'm going to find a therapist that is going to help me to fix my stuff. And that's what emotional fitness is about. So hopefully that makes sense. There are so many different things, there are so many things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Let me just okay, I did want to mention that there have been many times where particularly when I started this work, that I was curled up on the floor in those situations that I described at the start, wondering how I'm going to go on. And the fact that I was heard and validated just enabled me to become stronger, because I realized that I had the ability to sit with that stuff and it not consume me, overwhelm me, kill me, and move through it. And it just gave me a power over what was going on inside of me, so that then I could make peace with what was going on inside. When I was going through that and I was reaching out for help, often, the reason I got into this work is because often the help that I got, it was like I'd amputated a limb, and I went to get help, and rather than reattaching the limb, it was like, oh, they gave me a little Band-Aid. It just wasn't enough for the emotional pain that I was in. So if you're in emotional pain, find someone who can help you to resolve those emotional issues. And on that, if you look at a problem that you're facing as a table with 4 legs, I remember a friend of mine, Keith, giving me this analogy, and he said, some problems are 4-legged tables, which means that in order to get rid of that problem and topple that table over, all you have to do is cut off one of the legs and it will immediately topple over. But for other problems, they've got many more legs on the table. And so if you've gone to get help, and if you've been helped but the problem is still there, the point I want to make is that you keep working on a problem until you no longer have a problem. You've got to keep going and getting the help. Don't cut yourself short, sell yourself short. Go and get the help so that you can move through your stuff and start living a better quality of life. Yeah. A lot of people don't get the help that they need when they come to healing their stuff, because they want to get rid of their problem, and they might have anxiety, or they might have depression, or they might be stressed, and they'll come to the therapist and they'll say, I just want to get rid of my anxiety. or I want to get rid of my depression, or I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want that in my life. And the problem is that that anxiety, that depression, that stress, that addiction is there to teach you a lesson. And until you open up to that part that is anxious, depressed, addicted, and understand what's really going on so that you can become whole, then life sadly continues to become harder. And if you're on that journey where you're being plagued by anxiety, depression, overwhelm, addiction, whatever it is, my biggest advice to you is to open up to that part, understand it, give it love. It's got a valuable message for you. It's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to be helpful. And it's important for you to open up and learn the lesson. That way you can become whole, you can set yourself free, and you can get on the path of your authentic self rather than your ego self. I know this will not make sense to some people. It will make sense to others. The people it does make sense to, that's who I'm reaching out to. You are important. You are worthy of an incredible life. Please don't sell yourself short. Please love yourself, honor yourself, be kind to yourself. My name's Heidi Santo. I run the Emotional Fitness Gym, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye for now.